Welcome back, my students. Let's continue our rule in this unit 10, which is comparative and superlative, and answer the questions coursebook page number 121 and workbook page 52. In the previous video, we talked about the comparative form of the adjective, which we use to compare between two things or two people. بالفيديو السابق يا أحبائي تحدثنا عن comparative المقارنة اللي بنستخدمها حتى نقارن بين شخصين أو بين شيئين. Okay, and we talked about the form of the adjective, the comparative adjective, شكل الصفة بالمقارنة. We talked about the short adjectives and the long adjectives. حكينا عن الصفات القصيرة والصفات الطويلة. Okay, what is the short adjectives? The short adjectives, the adjective with one syllable. The adjective with one syllable. الصفات بتكون بمقطع واحد. For example, cold, hot. Okay. What about the long adjectives? The long adjectives, the adjectives with two syllables or more than two syllables. Okay. Long adjectives with two syllables or more بيكون بمقطعين أو أكثر. For example, beautiful. For example, difficult, exciting, interesting. For the short adjective, we add er plus than. For the short adjective, we add er plus than. بالصفات القصيرة ضفنا er مع than. For example, here we have short adjectives. Tall, taller than. Short, shorter than. Small, smaller than. Big, bigger than. Clear, clearer than. Simple, simpler than. And this is a sentence. Ahmed is taller than Ali. Ahmed is taller than Ali. Here we compare between Ahmed and Ali. قارنا بين أحمد وعلي. Who is taller? Okay, and we add er because tall is a short adjective. Tall is a short adjective with one syllable. Tall من الصفات القصيرة بمقطع واحد. Tall. Okay, and here we have the most important word, كلمة كتير مهمة اللي هي than. The second example, his handwriting is clearer than yours. His handwriting is clearer than yours. Here we have clear and it's a short adjective, so we add er, okay, and than. We add er plus than. Than is a very important word with er. For the long adjectives with more than two syllables, we use more. More before the adjectives plus than. حكينا بنستخدم more قبل الصفة. We can't add er for the adjective. ما بنستطيع إنه نضيف er للصفة طويلة. So we use more. More before the adjective. حكينا إنه في عنا more قبل الصفة. And we have than. Here we have number of examples about the long adjective. Beautiful, correct, comfortable, and difficult. Beautiful is a long adjective. Beautiful عبارة عن صفة طويلة. More than two syllables. More than two syllables. Beautiful. Beautiful. Three syllables. شوفين كيف قطعناها. Beautiful. So beautiful is a long adjective with three syllables. So we use more. We use more with the long adjective. This is an example. Math is more difficult than English. Math is more difficult than English. Here we compare between the math and English. قارن بين مادتين هي الرياضيات والإنجليزي. Okay, with the adjective difficult. Difficult is a long adjective, so we use more. And the second one is sofa is more comfortable than chair. Sofa is more comfortable than chair. Again, here we compare between sofa and chair. With the comfortable, it's a long adjective, so we use more. Okay, Now we will start with the second part of the rule, which is the superlative. في شيء اسمه عندنا superlative نبلش فيه الآن. What is the superlative form? Superlative form or superlative adjectives, we use the superlative form to compare more than two people or places or things. We use the superlative form to compare more than two people, places, or things. Comparative, we said that we compare two people or two things. Okay, if we have more than two people or two things, what do we use? We use the superlative adjective. احنا حكينا انه المقارنة الكومباراتيف بنقارن بين شيئين او بين شخصين two. بس اذا في عندنا شيء اكثر من اثنين ايش بنستخدم؟ بنستخدم superlative adjective. Superlative form, okay, we use the before the adjective, and we add est for the short adjective. So for the short adjective we use the before the adjective, then we have the short adjective, then we add est. We add est for the superlative form. We add est for the superlative form for the short adjective. The oldest. The oldest. Here we have the old is the short adjective. Est is the we add for the adjective. So the oldest. What about the long adjective? Here we have the most plus long adjective. So we add the most, then the long adjective. This is the example. The most expensive. The most expensive. الأغلى. Okay, الأغلى. We use the here, most, and expensive is a long adjective, so we use the most. The most expensive. الأغلى. The oldest. الأقدم. For the short adjective, we add est. For the long adjective, we add most. And also the most important word is the. The هي أهم كلمة برضو للسوبرلاتيف. Now let's compare between the comparative and superlative. خلينا بهذا الجدول نلخص إيش الفرق بين الcomparative والsuperlative. Comparative, we compare two things or two persons. Tall, taller, we add er for the short adjective, more for the long adjective, and we use than, taller than. For the superlative, we compare three or more things or person. نستخدم ثلاث أشخاص أو أشياء أو أكثر. ثلاث أشياء أو أشخاص نقارن بينهم أو أكثر. Okay, here we have three persons, pen, pop, and pen. Tall, taller, tallest. Tallest, we add est for the short adjective and most for the long adjective, and we use the tallest, the most beautiful. In comparative, we compare two things. We use more and er plus than. استخدم er مع more plus than. Superlative, we compare three things or three people or more أو أكثر, ثلاثة أو أكثر. We use est, most for est for the short adjective, most for the long adjective, and the tallest or the most expensive or the most beautiful. Let's see this example. Here we have Dad, Mom, and Tom. Three persons, okay? Mom, Dad, and Tom. And here we have the adjective short. The adjective short. Short is a short adjective. عبارة عن صفة قصير بمقطع واحد. Okay? If I have to compare between Dad and Mom and who is shorter, we will use the comparative form. إذا بدي أقارن بين Dad and Mom راح أستخدم the comparative form. Why? Because we compare between two things or two people. اوكي راح استخدم ال ER او المور لأن عم بقارن بين شخصين. Look, mom is shorter than dad. Mom is shorter than dad. So this is the comparative form, shorter than. Why? Because we compare between mom and dad, two people. قارنت بين شخصين. So we use the comparative form. Okay. Who is the shortest? Who is the shortest? Here we have three persons. ثلاث أشخاص. And I ask you, who is the shortest? مين الأقصر فيهم? What do we use? Excellent. We use the superlative form. نستخدم superlative form because we compare more than two people. عم بنقارن أكثر من شخصين. So Tom is the shortest. Tom is the shortest. Tom هو الأقصر. Tom الأقصر. So this is the sentence. Tom is the shortest. We add est and here we have the before the adjective. So the most important word in the for ER and more هي than. أهم كلمة مع ال ER والمور هي than. And it comes after the adjective. تيجي بعد الصفة. The most important word for est and most is the. هي أهم كلمة لل est والmost هي the. And it comes before the adjective. قبل الصفة. Okay. Here we have another examples. Okay, about the comparative and the superlative. Here we have the cat, the rabbit, and the ant. Okay, the cat is small. The rabbit is smaller. The ant is the smallest. هي أصغر واحدة فيهم. Okay, if we compare between the cat and the rabbit, we said that the rabbit is smaller than the cat. The rabbit is smaller than the cat. If we compare the ant with the rabbit and the cat, إذا قارنا الأنت مع الرابت والcat إيش بنحكي؟ The ant is the smallest. The ant is the smallest because we compare more than two animals. Let's go to the second one. Fat. Here we have three cats. Fat, fatter, and the fattest. Okay, this is cat number 1, 2, and this is 3. Cat number 2 is fatter than the cat number 1. We compare between cat number 1 and cat number 2. If we compare this one, cat number 3, with the two cats, قارناهم بين two cats, we said that the cat number 3 is the fattest. The cat number 3 is the fattest. هي الأسمن أكثر واحدة سمينة. There are, my students, some rules you have to know when we add ER or EST for the adjectives. في بعض القواعد لازم انتبه لها لما نضيف ER أو EST لبعض الصفات. Okay, number 1, here we have the adjective big, bigger than, and the biggest, and this is the form when we add ER or EST. Look here we have double G when we add ER and EST. So what is the rule? إيش القاعدة هون؟ If we have a vowel before the last letter, we double the last letter when we add ER or EST. If we have the vowel before the last letter, we double the last letter. إذا كان في عنا أحد أحرف العلة قبل الحرف الأخير بنضاعف الحرف الأخير when we add ER or EST. Look, here we have I and it's a vowel, so we double the last letter. What are the vowels letters? I, U, E, A, and O. These are the vowels. دول هم حروف العلة. Okay, if we see them before the last letter, إذا شفناهم قبل الحرف الأخير, we double the last letter to add EST or ER. So this is the first rule. هي أول قاعدة. The second one, if we have the letter Y and before the letter we have a consonant, حرف صحيح عادي. Okay, we change Y to I and we add ER. We change Y to I and we add ER or EST. إذا جاء حرف أخير هو حرف الواي سبقه حرف صحيح not vowels مش علة، بنغير الواي لآي وبنضيف الآي الإي آر أو الإي إس تي. happy, happier than, the happiest. Here we have Y and we change it to I, بنحوله لآي and we add ER or EST. The third rule, if we have E, the last letter is E, آخر حرف هو E بالصفة, we drop the letter and we add ER or EST. كأنه بنسقط الحرف and we add ER or EST. Okay, we drop the letter E, نسقط حرف الإي أو بنحذفه and we add ER or EST. So, again, rule number 1, if we have a vowel before the last letter, we double the last letter. إذا كان في عندنا حرف علة قبل الحرف الأخير بنضاعف الحرف الأخير. Rule number 2, if we have the letter Y, the last letter هو آخر حرف وسبقه حرف صحيح, we change Y to I and we add ER or EST. بنحول الY لI وبنضيف ER أو EST. Rule number 3, if we have E, the last letter is E, we drop the letter and we add ER or EST. إذا كان في عندنا حرف E آخر الصفة نسقطه أو نحذفه and we add ER or EST. Now let's go to our box. Course book page number 121. Page 121. The storm turned out to be more frightening than the story I had been reading. Here we compare between two things, between the storm and the story. Okay, I had been reading. قارن بين العاصفة وبين القصة اللي أصلا كان يقرأ فيها. And we use the adjective frightening and it's a long adjective عبارة عن صفة طويلة. So we use more. ليش صغرنا هنا more؟ لأنه عم بنقارن بين شيئين and the adjective is long. Just then we all heard the most terrifying noise. Just then we all heard the most terrifying noise. Here we have the adjective terrifying, which is a long adjective, صفة طويلة. So we use most and we use the most important word is the. هنا ده بنستخدمها مع superlative form. The most terrifying. The most terrifying. Here we don't compare two things. ما بنقارن شيئين. So we use the superlative form. Remember, to compare two nouns, we usually add or ER to the adjectives. نضيف R أو ER للصفة. To compare 3 or more nouns, we add ST or EST in the case of longer adjectives. إذا بنقارن بين شيئين أو شخصين, we add ER. وإذا بنقارن بين أكثر من شخصين أو شيئين, we add EST. In the case of longer adjectives, بحال إنه كان في عندي صفات طويلة, we don't change the ending. Instead, we add the word more when we compare two nouns. إذا كان بنقارن بين شغلين بالcomparative form, we add more. And the word most when we compare 3 or more nouns. نقارن 3 أشياء أو أكثر نحط most. We usually use the before an adjective that compares 3 or more nouns. نستخدم كلمة the في السوبرلاتيف form. نستخدم كلمة the بالسوبرلاتيف form. إذا الصفات الطويلة ما بنضيف عليها شيء بالنهاية، بس بنضيف more أو الموست قبلها حسب إذا كانت عندي comparative أو superlative. In this table, here we have two examples about the long adjectives. Two examples about the long adjectives, beautiful and expensive. For the comparative form, we said more beautiful. For the superlative form, most beautiful. So this is the comparative and this is the superlative. For the adjective expensive, more expensive, most expensive. It was the worst storm we had ever seen. There are some adjectives that they change their forms completely when comparing nouns. في هناك بعض الصفات بتغير أشكالها كليا في الكومباراتيف أو بالسوبرلاتيف. هم exceptions، هم استثناءات، ما بنضيف لا ER ولا EST ولا most ولا more، تغير شكلها كامل. And you have to memorize them، نحفظهم مع بعض. Okay. Good and bad, and these are exceptions. هدول استثناءات. Good and bad. Good for the comparative form هي better. إذا بنقارن بين شيئين بتصير better. بالsuperlative بتصير best. Okay. Good, better, best. Bad سيء. Worse, worst. So bad سيء. Worse أسوأ من. Worst الأسوأ. Okay. Bad سيء. Worse أسوأ من. Worst الأسوأ. So good and bad, they are exceptions. دول استثناءات. We don't add ER or EST. We change the form of the adjective. بنغير شكل الصفة كاملة. Good, better, best, bad, worse, worst. Under the table, here we have a question. Fill in the blanks with adjectives from the tables above. Fill in the blanks with adjectives from the table above. بدنا نكمل الجمل باستخدام الadjectives الموجودة عندنا بنفس الصفحة. Number 1. The toy was than they thought it would be. The toy was than they thought it would be. Here we have the word than. So what is the form of the adjective here? Excellent. It's the comparative form. بما إنه في عنا هنا than معناته رح نستخدم comparative. We will add ER or more if the adjective is long. So the answer is more expensive. More expensive. This shirt is bad, but that one is the of the lot. Here we have the. So the form here is superlative. Here we have the. So the form is superlative. هون بإنه في عنا the ما رح نستخدم superlative form. And the adjective is bad. So what is the superlative form of the adjective bad? إيش هو السوبرلاتيف للصفة bad؟ Excellent. Worst. هي worst. So the worst. حكينا إنه bad هي exception، عبارة عن استثناء ما بنضيف لها لا ER ولا EST، بتغير كامل. This necklace is the one in the shop. This necklace is the one in the shop. Again, here we have the, so we will use the superlative form, the most beautiful. The most beautiful. That book was good, but this one is. That book is good, but this one is. Okay, here we have the. Compare between two books. عم بنقارن بين كتابين. And here we have the adjective good. What is the comparative form of the adjective good? Better. Better. Focus on these exceptions of the adjective. استثناءات. Good, better, best, bad, worse, worse. In this table on page number 52, this table, page number 52, here we have more adjectives and they are exceptions. يعني صفات أكثر هي استثناء. We don't add ER or EST. Look at this table. Here we have the adjective, the comparative form, and the superlative form. The adjective, comparative form, superlative form. Number 1, here we have good. Good. Better in the comparative form. In the superlative form is best. Bad, worse, worst. Many, more, most. Many, more for the comparative form, most for the superlative form. Little, less for the comparative form, and least is the superlative form. Far, further, and furthest. Near, nearer, nearest. Near, nearer, nearest. You have to memorize these adjectives. هذا الجدول كتير مهم يا طلابي. اوكي. ولازم انه نحاول نحفظ adjectives as exceptions. الاستثناءات من الصفات. Here we have the second question. Fill in the blanks with the correct adjective. Remember to use the before the word that compares 3 or more nouns. In this question is focused about the superlative form. Focus on the superlative form. بس بركز على superlative form اللي هي EST or most. Okay. This word is a homework, or this question is a homework. We use the superlative form. هنستخدم فيه بس superlative. She has many brothers than you. Here we have than, so this is the comparative form, not the superlative form. This is the comparative form, so we will use more, okay? Number 2, 3 and 4 and 5, we will use the superlative form. نستخدم فيها superlative form. And these are homeworks. هذا واجب راح يكون. Okay. Answer these sentences and send me the answers. Thank you, my students.